Charisma is the result of nonverbal behaviors. It's the symbolic influence, and it's that personal magnetism that a person may have. So, do you think you need to be outgoing to be charismatic? Well, you don't. And you don't have to change your personality. But this is about inspiring confidence in your abilities so you can learn to be more charismatic. So I wanted to share with you a personal story. In my 20s, I was socially awkward and I would struggle with women, and I would get very frustrated in dating with women. And so I took it to heart, and I looked for ways to get out of that. I couldn't understand. I wasn't sure if it was the reason why, if it was because I was from another country, or it was cultural differences, or it was just me being oblivious about the way I presented myself. So I studied body language, and I certainly improved dramatically from then to today. I can't say that I mastered communication, but I certainly have gotten a lot better. So I am really excited to share with you today a research of a study from this author called Kara Alter, and she filters for what looks natural, okay? So she's a strong believer in what it is that everybody knows: fake it until you make it. And so the real component and foundation of charisma is to have a strong presence, a strong posture. So I want you guys to take away today that how important it is to have a strong presence. So for one, and as a demonstration, I want to let you know, I'm sure not everybody can see my feet, but standing is a very important thing about it. So for men, for example, when you stand, a natural standing would be right around your shoulder height. That's where your shoulder joints is. That's where your feet should be. So that would be a natural. But this is not a societal issue, whether it's gender, women, or men. It has a lot to do with it's just about balance point, okay? So that's the way you look natural. So for women, for example, that wouldn't be the case. And women, they need to kind of line up because their hips are weight it's a lot more where their center balance it is. So it will look a little funny if I stand like this. I'll be sending a little bit of an extra message with my body language. So a very important thing about your upper part of your body is to have a strong core. And what I mean by a strong core, have a straight spine and your shoulders straight, so you form like a solid, strong, like a T shape over here, okay? So that should be rock solid. And so if I do this wishy-washiness movement, I kind of look like a little kid that's kind of in trouble. It's like, you lose a lot of that executive presence that you're looking for. So you want to look as comfortable as possible. And so likewise, your head, the movement of your head, it just moves like a camera on a tripod. You don't move your shoulders. You don't do this, but you rather do this. You see, it's a lot more strength in the way you present yourself as. And another thing that is important is when you're talking to somebody, your nose is a very good indicator of who you're talking to. And because if I look what happens when I move my eyes and I start like, it looks like I'm kind of like, shy or like a little mischievous. I could come across very differently. So it's important to know that if you want to look and you want to present yourself as straightforward, literally be straightforward. So point out with your nose, keep a strong core, and not necessarily being stiff, because leadership presence is not so much about just strong core, but there's also the component of fluidity. So I would like to introduce your hands. So when you actually become aware of your hands, you start to wonder, what am I gonna do with them? And you start like getting and fidgeting, and that's when you give away all of your game. So the way to go about that is just you hand them information. you talk, you hand information with your hands. It's very natural to, at the moment you start speaking, that your hands are engaged with you. That's a natural component. Actually, your hands are ingrained in your way before verbal communication. So it's very important for you to, being aware of what you're doing with your body language is very important for you to have that natural and the internal dialogue, let that go. Practice will make perfect. So over time, you will likely have that mastered. But my takeaway on the hands is like, just have a conversation and reach out. So if you can picture and imagine that you have like a ball touching your fingers, this is your safe space. Don't reach out too much, you go too crazy, and don't go like the T-Rex hand, okay? So right around here. So, so part of the leadership, it really is looking comfortable. And so there's something in communication called marked and unmarked communication. So for example, if I raise my chin just slightly higher, I look a little condescending. And if I lower my chin just slightly down, I look a little shy, especially if I tilt my head. So it's important for you to know that you want to unmark as much as possible your communication. So the power of your words is what sends the message, rather than having a mixed message with your body language. So just to kind of wrap up, I wanted to let you know that whether I am aware or not, I am always, at all times, sending a message with my body, with my words, and the way I present myself as. If I look like $1 million, probably I think that I look like that I'm along those lines. So likewise, whether you are aware or not, you are making an assessment of me. So whatever impression I make on you, or whether you know about my body language or not, you're still making an impression on me, and you're making an assessment. So you use your judgment. And so it's my job as a speaker to present myself as best as possible. So charisma, it's about being comfortable with yourself. And it's ingenious to have a strong presence.